Welcome to the deep dive where we take your sources and really try to unearth those crucial nuggets of insight. Today we're embarking on a fascinating deep dive focusing on just one single source, a book. It's titled Four Chapters on Freedom, and it has the subtitle Commentary on the Yoga Sutras of Patanjali by Swami Satyananda Saraswati. Now you might be thinking, okay, what can we really truly extract from just the title, the subtitle, the author, maybe the cover art? Well, our mission here is to kind of peel back these initial layers, the presentation itself, to discover the journey this book is promising even before you actually turn that first page. We're looking for those hidden cues, really, the ones that set the stage for the knowledge inside, giving us a bit of a roadmap before we even start the engine, so to speak.
It's actually quite striking, isn't it? How much information, how much of an invitation, really, and a specific framework is embedded right there in those initial details. They aren't just decorative elements, not at all. They're pretty potent signposts guiding you towards a very particular intellectual landscape, and I'd say spiritual landscape, too. We'll find these elements quietly reveal the essence and the methodology of the kind of freedom this text sets out to explore.
Absolutely. So let's start right there with the main title, Four Chapters on Freedom. It's not just, freedom, plain and simple. It's explicitly four chapters of it. What does that structured approach immediately suggest? Maybe about the nature of this freedom or perhaps the method for getting there within this tradition?
That's a really crucial distinction to make right off the bat. The four chapters structure. It's not just organizational, is it? It feels like a silent promise that freedom here isn't some vague, abstract ideal floating around. Instead, it's maybe more like a skill, something that can be learned, developed, realized in distinct stages, actionable stages. It immediately signals a path that's profoundly practical rather than, say, a purely philosophical treatise just for the mind.
Yeah, practical.
So for you, the learner, this implies a digestible step-by-step exploration, almost like a syllabus, a spiritual syllabus, perhaps. It makes this, profound concept of freedom feel accessible through clear milestones. It kind of removes that daunting feeling you might get when someone just hands you a complex ancient text and says, good luck.
I really like that analogy, a spiritual syllabus. That definitely reframes it. It transforms freedom from something elusive into, something tangible, something with a map. And it immediately begs the question, what kind of freedom is this map actually guiding us towards? And I think we get our first really big clue when we look at the subtitle, right? How it anchors the whole concept.
Exactly. The subtitle, Commentary on the Yoga Sutras of Patanjali. This is where the nature of this specific freedom really starts to crystallize. This isn't just any freedom we're talking about. It's freedom as understood through Patanjali's foundational text.
Sure.
And the Yoga Sutras of Patanjali, they aren't just ancient. They are the foundational text of classical yoga, a precise blueprint almost of the mind's mechanics and the path to what's called samadhi, or, absolute liberation.
Liberation, okay.
So the freedom being explored here, it's deeply psychological, deeply spiritual. It's more like freedom from the mind's own conditioned patterns, its habits, rather than freedom from, say, external circumstances.
That is a profound shift in perspective, yeah. So this subtitle, it acts almost like a guarantee then. It reassures us that this isn't some fleeting modern trend, but a time-honored methodology for liberation. What challenges, though, or maybe advantages, does relying on such ancient wisdom present for, a modern reader who's seeking freedom today?
Well, it definitely presents both. The advantage is, immense. You're tapping into a system that's been tried and tested, refined over millennia. It offers robust techniques for inner transformation. And a commentary, like this book claims to be, its whole purpose is to clarify, to expand upon, and make those complex original texts accessible. Because the Yoga Sutras themselves, they can be quite dense, quite esoteric in their original form.
Right, they can be hard to penetrate on your own.
Definitely. The challenge, maybe for some, might be bridging that cultural and historical gap. But a good commentary, like this promises to be, acts precisely as that bridge. It aims for fidelity to the original text, but also contemporary relevance. It means you're gaining insight into Patanjali's teachings, but through the lens of a spiritual master, offering you guidance on how to apply these ancient principles to modern life.
That distinction you made between just understanding intellectually and actually applying it practically, that brings us neatly to the author, Swami Satyananda Saraswati. That title, Swami, isn't just a name, is it? It conveys quite a lot about the person behind these words. It feels like more than just an academic credential.
Oh, indeed. Swami isn't just a title slapped on. It signifies a renunciate within the Hindu tradition, a spiritual teacher who has dedicated their entire life, literally, to spiritual pursuit and guiding others. So what this means for you is that you're likely getting guidance from someone whose insights come from direct embodied experience, not just from scholarly study.
Embodied experience, yeah.
It's a title earned through, rigorous spiritual practice and a deep understanding of the scriptural knowledge. It sort of reassures you that the insights being shared come from a place of genuine lived wisdom. And that adds immense practical weight to their commentary on Patanjali's path to freedom. Makes me think of those rare individuals whose entire life is their research, not just their, office hours.
Huh. I love that their entire life is their research. It really underscores the depth of commitment involved. And kind of following that thread of lineage and practical application, the publisher, Yoga Publications Trust, Munger, Bihar, India. That also isn't just a random name or address on the spine, is it? It feels like another one of these crucial clues.
Absolutely not random. This detail, Yoga Publications Trust, Munger, Bihar, it immediately tells you this book stems from a living lineage. It points directly to the Bihar School of Yoga, which is actually founded by Swami Satyananda Saraswati himself. So this provides crucial information about the specific tradition and school of thought behind the commentary. It ensures a certain consistency and depth within its particular interpretation of the Yoga Sutras.
Ah, okay. So it's not just a commentary, but one from a specific established school.
Precisely. It's like knowing a scientific paper comes from a specific renowned research institution. It lends weight and a very specific perspective. For you, the reader, this sets an expectation for how you might engage with this idea of freedom, not just intellectually, but probably through practical experiential transformation. The Bihar School is actually quite well known for integrating classical yoga with certain tantric practices, focusing on a very holistic and systematic approach to spiritual awakening.
Holistic and systematic.
Which suggests the path to freedom presented here will likely involve more than just sitting meditation. It probably encompasses lifestyle, ethics, energy work, the whole picture.
Okay, so we've really dissected the textual clues, title, subtitle, author, publisher. But a book's cover often speaks its own language, doesn't it? What visual messages are being sent here, even before we open it up? This cover, it features a golden-orange oval shape. It has 3 horizontal lines across it and a small red dot. And it's all radiating light against this deep purple background. It's quite striking, actually.
It absolutely is striking, and it's incredibly rich with symbolism. These symbols, they're reminiscent of sacred marks like tilaks or perhaps a lingam symbol. They're not just decorative flourishes. These are ancient visual cues, often hinting at inner alchemy or the awakening of dormant spiritual energy. Maybe something related to Kundalini energy.
Inner alchemy.
Yeah. That golden oval with the 3 lines and the red dot, it's a really potent emblem in yogic and Hindu iconography. It often embodies creative energy, divine consciousness, maybe spiritual awakening itself. The 3 lines, for instance, frequently represent different aspects of divinity or cosmic principles, maybe the 3 gunas, sattva, rajas, tamas, or perhaps the 3 states of consciousness, waking, dreaming, deep sleep. And the red dot, often called the bindu, can symbolize the 3rd eye, representing spiritual insight, intuition, or even the point of creation.
Wow, okay.
And then that radiating light is pretty unambiguous, isn't it? It clearly signifies spiritual illumination, wisdom, or awakening. It points directly towards the deeply transformative potential of the teachings held within the book.
So the visuals are directly reinforcing that spiritual transformative nature of the freedom we've been discussing. It's preparing the reader for an inner journey, maybe involving profound energetic shifts.
Yeah.
What about the purple background? That's not a common color for just any book cover, is it? Especially combined with these very specific symbols.
You're absolutely right. That color choice feels very deliberate. Purple is so often associated with spirituality, with mysticism, with higher consciousness across many cultures. And specifically within yogic traditions, it's often linked to the Sahasrara chakra, the crown chakra, right at the top of the head. That chakra represents enlightenment, cosmic connection, the highest state of spiritual realization.
Crown chakra, right.
So its use here really reinforces the profound sacred nature of the freedom and the Yoga Sutras being discussed. It acts as a visual cue, preparing you for a journey into deeper spiritual dimensions. It signals that this book is intended to delve into realms beyond the mundane, into the subtle spiritual aspects of our existence. It creates this aura of reverence around the subject matter. It aligns perfectly with that ultimate goal of liberation we talked about earlier.
It's really quite incredible how much a book cover, when you look at it through this kind of lens, can communicate, isn't it? So pulling this all together, what does this mean for you, our listener, as you maybe consider picking up this book? Even without having read a single word inside, the cover, the title, all these elements of 4 chapters on freedom already tell us quite a bit. It's presented as a structured journey into freedom, one that's rooted deeply in ancient yogic philosophy, guided by an experienced spiritual master from a specific, well-regarded tradition, and it's all presented with this powerful spiritual symbolism.
Exactly. It really highlights how thoughtfully designed presentation, even things we might dismiss as just metadata, like the title, author, publisher, can powerfully communicate the essence and the promise of a body of knowledge. It sets a very clear expectation for methodical, authoritative, and spiritually enriching exploration of what freedom truly entails, all through the timeless wisdom of Patanjali's Yoga Sutras. For you, it means approaching this text probably not as a casual read, but maybe more as a serious invitation, an invitation to a journey of self-discovery and inner liberation. Every single detail we've discussed sort of primes you for a specific kind of transformative experience, one that aims to move beyond just intellectual curiosity to a path of embodied practice and potentially profound personal change.
This deep dive really shows us that sometimes those insightful nuggets aren't buried deep inside. They can be found right there on the surface in the very way information is presented to us. By carefully observing the title, the subtitle, the author, the publisher, and even the artwork, we've gained, I think, a pretty solid preliminary understanding of the intellectual and spiritual landscape this book invites us into. It's really about recognizing those implicit promises and the frameworks that are laid out before you even turn that first page. So thinking about everything we've just unpacked, what concept of freedom do you think Swami Satyananda Saraswati explores in these 4 chapters? Especially considering its roots in Patanjali's Yoga Sutras and knowing the Bihar School of Yoga's emphasis on practical, holistic transformation. Is it likely freedom from external constraints, or is it something much deeper? Perhaps freedom from the very conditioning of the mind itself, maybe leading towards that inner alchemy the cover hints at, something that truly liberates from within. It's definitely a thought that might lead you to your own deeper exploration, isn't it?